Physics class 11 chapter 8 Gravitation. In the last class we have studied acceleration due to gravity below and above the surface of the earth. Today we shall study gravitational potential energy. Potential energy at the surface of the earth is defined as work done in bringing a mass from infinity to the surface of the earth. So potential energy is the work done in bringing mass from infinity to the surface of the earth. Consider points close to the surface of the earth. Now we take points which are very close to the surface of the earth. The distance much smaller than RE, and the distance is much smaller than RE. That means comparatively with the radius of the earth, the distance is very small. Okay, so RE is the radius of the earth. Then the force of gravity is practically constant. So we can say that if the points are very close and the distance is smaller than the radius of the earth, then the force of gravity is practically constant and it is equal to mg, and the direction of that force is towards the center of the earth. Okay, so it is directed towards the center of the earth, the force is constant and it is given as mg. Consider a point at a height h1 from the surface of the earth and another point vertically above it at a height h2 from the surface. Now we take 2 points, one at the height h1 from the surface of the earth, and other one is vertically above it at the distance at the height h2 from the surface of the earth. The work done in lifting the particle of mass m from the first to the second position. Now suppose we have got a particle of mass m and we want to lift this from height h1 to height h2. Then the work done is given as W12 equal to force into displacement. Now force, we say that near the surface of the earth the force is almost the constant and is equal to mg. Okay, so the force is mg and the displacement is change in the position, right? So that is h2 minus h1 from the initial final position and initial position. So difference between final and initial, that is h2 minus h1. So the work done W12 is equal to mg h2 minus h1. Now potential energy WH at the point at a height h above the surface is given as WH equal to mgh plus W naught, where W naught is a constant. Now we have studied that if you have got any object at the height h, then it has got some stored energy. That energy is called potential energy and it is given by mgh. Okay, m is the mass and g is the acceleration due to gravity and h is the height at which the object is placed. So the potential energy is given as wh equal to mgh plus W naught. Okay, now potential energy is also a stored energy. Okay, now suppose you multiply this mg inside, so mg into h2, so that will be the potential energy at height h2. So this can be written, if you use this formula you can write the mg into h2 as wh2. Okay, and mg into h1, if you multiply this, so you use this formula mg h1, this mg h1 you multiply here mg h1, so that will be, if you compare with this, it will be wh1, right? In that, if you use this formula over here, then this W naught will cancel out. Okay, this W naught will be cancelling out and W naught is nothing but you consider that as the potential energy on the surface of the earth. Okay, W naught will cancel out when you are using this equation and this equation. When you are combining these two equations, then this W naught, which is constant, which will be cancelled out, and that is nothing but the potential energy on the surface of the earth. So by combining these two equations, we can say that W12 equal to mgh2. If you use this formula, you can write as a WH2, and mgh1 as you can write as a WH1. Okay, so minus WH1 and W naught will cut out. Quite equation number 1. So this equation says that the work done in moving the particle is just the difference of potential energy between final and initial position. So this is potential energy of the final position and potential energy of the initial position. So work done in lifting the particle from the one height to another, h1 to h2, then it is nothing but the difference of the potential energy between the final and the initial position. Okay, so this equation just written in a words. For a point outside the earth, the force of gravitation on particle of mass m is directed towards the center of the earth and the magnitude is given as F is equal to g MEm by r square, where me is the mass of the earth and r is the distance of mass m from the center of the earth. Now this we have derived in the last class, that if you have got a point outside the earth, okay, then the mass is m and the mass of the earth is me, then the gravitational force is given as this value, right? We have derived in the last class that F is equal to g MEm by r square. R is the distance of mass m from the center of the earth. Now work done in lifting m from r1 to r2. Now this r1 to r2 will take as the vertically upward, okay, r1 to r2 position. So we are going to calculate the work done in lifting mass m from r1 to r2 with this force, okay. The force will consider F is equal to g MEm by r square. So work done W12 equal to integral r1 to r2 f dr. So when you are doing the work done, here we are going to do integration. So integration r1 to r2 f dr. Put the value of f from here. So integral r1 to r2 g MEm by r square, okay, this value into this dr, equal to, now here g MEm will be constant, so you can take out of the integral, so you get g MEm integral r1 to r2, and this 1 by r square, if you take in the numerator, it will become r power minus 2 dr. Okay, now this you have to integrate. So for this integral, I will use the formula integral x power n dx. This gives you x power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. Okay, so here is r power minus 2 dr. So r power n plus 1. So r power minus 2 plus 1 divided by n plus 1, that is minus 2 plus 1. Okay, so we get r power minus 2 plus 1 is minus 1 power, r power minus 1, and minus 2 plus 1 is minus 1. That minus is taken outside. Okay, so this minus is because of the difference which is negative, and the limit is r1 to r2. Now apply the first upper limit, and this r power minus 1 can be taken in the denominator and can be written as 1 by r. Okay, so when you apply the upper limit, it will be 1 by r2 minus the lower limit 1 by r1. Okay, so this simplification after integrating, I have written directly here 1 by r2 minus 1 by r1, and this part is as it is g MEm. Okay, this part is the constant term is as it is, and the negative sign, you know, that is because of the difference of these two is negative, which is comes out. Okay, so it is written here. So W12 is equal to minus g MEm into 1 by r2 minus 1 by r1. I hope you understand this integral. Okay, this I have written over here. From equation 1, WR equal to minus g MEm into 1 by r2 minus 1 by r1 plus w1. Okay, so we can say the work done WR is equal to minus g MEm 1 by r2 minus 1 by r1 plus w1. But here, see, it was in the previous, it was mh, right? W of h, right? So W12 and WH, they will be similar. So I can put here WR. Here it is for R. This was the for the H. Okay, height H, here for the displacement or distance R. Therefore it is written as WR. So potential energy WR at a distance R is. Now this can be written as, for a distance R, the potential energy as WR equal to minus G MEm by R plus W1. For R infinite, W infinite equal to W1. Now suppose you take the R as infinite, then the W infinite will be nothing but W1. Okay, so W1 is the potential energy at infinity. So this is W1 is the potential energy at infinity, and at the distance R, it will be minus G MEm by R. So WR equal to minus G MEm by R plus W1. But W1 is what? It is the potential energy at the infinity. The gravitational potential energy associated with two particles of masses m1 and m2 separated by a distance r is V is equal to minus G m1 m2 by r. So we can just combine what we have studied till now together, this topic, and we can say that the potential energy, gravitational potential energy associated with the two particles m1 and m2 which are separated by r is given as capital V equal to minus G m1 m2 by r. We can use the symbol as capital V or sometimes capital U for the potential energy. Okay, so gravitational potential energy for two particles of mass m1 and m2 separated by r is given as minus G m1 m2 by r. So that is your gravitational potential energy, and definition we gave at the beginning. Example 8.3. Find the potential energy of a system of four particles placed at the vertices of a square of side L also obtain the potential at the center of the square. This is a square of length L. Okay, all the sides are of length L. Four mass M are placed as the four corners of the vertices of the square. Okay, if this length is L, this length is L, the diagonal, you can use the Pythagoras. So L square plus L square equal to this side. So 2L square equal to the diagonal. Diagonal here it is hypotenuse, right? If you are taking this as a right angle triangle, this angle 90 degree. So L square plus L square is equal to hypotenuse square. So it will be 2L square equal to hypotenuse. So you can take the square root hypotenuse. This diagonal will be hypotenuse equal to root 2 times L. Okay, so what we have done here is we are given four masses M at the corners of a square of a side L, length L, and two diagonals of the length root 2L. Okay, so this is one diagonal, this other diagonal, the length is root 2L. Okay, and the four sides are of the length L, right? So now we shall write the potential energy. So potential energy WR equal to, for the four masses on the corners of the square or the vertices of the square are minus 4 gm square by L minus the diagonals. There are two diagonals, so 2 gm square by root 2L. Okay, so this is the potential energy because of the masses at the four corners, and also it will be included the two diagonals. Okay, so they will exert, the force will be there or the energy will be there. So we are taking the two diagonals plus the four corners. Okay, so that's why it is taken as minus 4 gm square by L minus 2 gm square by root 2L. Now we can take common here. Gm square is common here, 4 here 2, so 2 you can take, and both have negative, so negative, and denominator is L, also you can take as a common. So I am taking from these two terms minus 2 gm square by L. Here remains 2 plus minus is taken, so this plus, and here remains 1 by root 2. If you simplify this minus 2 and this value, the simplification is 5.41, and that is negative, and this gm square by L as it is. So you get the answer or the potential energy as minus 5.41 gm square by L. So that is the first part. In the second part, they have asked us the gravitational potential at the center of the square. So for the center of the square, see, we already said this length of the square diagonal is root 2L, right? So this distance will be, you can take half of it, right? Half of this root 2L. So half it will be root 2L by 2. Okay, from here to here, or from here to here, or from here to here, from here to here, that distance is root 2L. So I take the distance root 2L because I have to find now at the center. So from the center it is root 2L. So now the potential energy VR equal to minus 4 root 2 gm by L. Okay, you place the value and you can calculate, right? So that will be done by you. I have directly calculated. Okay, you can try yourself. Next we have got escape energy. Now what do you mean by escape energy? It is the minimum speed with which an object must be thrown from the surface of the earth or planet so that it does not return back to the earth or planet. So now it is the minimum speed or required for an object to go away from the earth's gravitation or any planet's gravitation force. Okay, so you know that if you throw any ball or any object, it comes back, but now you want it to escape from the earth's gravitational force. That means you need to give that much speed which will allow the object to go out of the earth's gravitational force. So we can define the escape speed as the minimum speed with which an object must be thrown from the surface of the earth or the planet so that it does not return back to earth or planet. So it is escaping from the earth or from the planet. Suppose the object thrown reach at infinity and its speed there is Vf, and potential energy at infinity is equal to W1. Okay, already we say that potential energy at infinity will take as W1. Okay, we have already seen that W infinity is W1. So potential energy is W1 at infinity. So now we are suppose throwing an object and suppose it reaches infinite. That means it is out of the Earth's surface or out of the Earth's gravitational field. So it is out, that means it has a escape velocity, and when it reaches to the infinity, we say that its final velocity is Vf. Okay, and the potential energy at the infinity we consider as W1. Then you know that total energy is equal to potential energy into kinetic energy. Total mechanical energy is nothing but the sum of the kinetic and potential energy. So we write as E at infinite, E infinite equal to potential energy plus kinetic energy. So potential energy at infinite is W1 plus kinetic energy is 1 by 2 mv square, but velocity is Vf, final velocity, so Vf squared. If the initial speed of object was Vi from point at a distance Re plus h. Now initially it is on the surface of the earth. Suppose it is at height h. Then the speed, suppose we assume that Vi. Okay, at the initially the object speed is Vi. At the surface where you have thrown it from. So that is radius plus the height h. So Re plus h, Re plus h. Its initial energy. Then the energy will be like this. It will be also sum of the potential and the kinetic energy. Okay, so here E Re plus h equal to W1 plus 1 by 2 m Vi square minus Gm Me by h plus Re. This is the kinetic energy, 1 by 2 m Vi square. Why? Because Vi I am taking as the initial speed or initial velocity, so half m Vi square, and this minus minus Gm Me divided by h plus Re plus W1. This is what we have done previously, that it is the potential energy. Okay, the potential energy is Wi is equal to minus Gm by R plus W1. So this is the potential energy at the surface, or here not at the exactly at the surface, at the Re plus h, at the height h. So therefore this W1 minus Gm Me by h plus Re is the potential energy, and this 1 by 2 m Vi square is the kinetic energy. So total energy, initial energy E Re plus h is W1 plus 1 by 2 m Vi square minus Gm Me by h plus Re. Okay, this is the potential energy, this is the kinetic energy. This we have just proved in the last topic. Okay, so this I have written from there, but here there was radius was not radius, the distance was R, right? Here the distance is h plus Re, that's why it is written as h plus Re. Okay, now W1 and W1 is the same, right? So it will cut out. Now here we are going to use the conservation of energy. Okay, so by principle of conservation of energy, the energy at the infinity and energy at the when it is initial energy will be same. So because of conservation of energy, we can say E Re plus h is equal to E infinite. Okay, so E Re plus h is this value. Okay, so I put here 1 by 2 m Vi square minus Gm Me divided by R plus Re equal to E infinite, that is this value. Okay, E infinite 1 by 2 m Vf square. Say W1 and W1 will cancel out because one W1 is here, W1 is here, they are equal, so it will cut each other. Okay, when you transfer 1 over here, it will become negative and it will cut. Okay, so W1 I am not writing directly, I am writing these terms. Therefore right hand side is positive plus with minimum value 0. Now you can see in this equation, this right hand side is positive, right? There is plus sign, so this is positive plus the minimum value should be 0. Okay, the minimum value will be 0 and this is positive term, and therefore if this is positive and minimum value is 0, that means for it will be same for the right hand side, right? So there, so is right hand side, this side left hand, sorry right hand, sorry this is left hand side. Okay, so right hand side is positive and minimum value is 0, and therefore the left hand side also will be positive plus it will be minimum value will be 0. Okay, so this should be positive and minimum value will be 0. Why? Because this is positive and its minimum value is 0. Therefore object can reach infinite as long as Vi is such that, so we have, our aim is to that the object should reach infinite, so it can reach infinite as long as Vi, that is initial velocity, is equal to, or it is such that m Vi square by 2 minus Gm Me by h plus Re, this value is greater than equal to 0. Okay, so if this value is greater than equal to 0, because of this, okay, we already said that right hand side is positive and minimum value is 0, so this minimum value is 0, and therefore this should be also same, either it should be positive, it will be positive, it should be positive plus its minimum should be 0. So this I can using the first relation, I can say this value also should be greater than or equal to 0. Minimum should be 0, right? That is greater than or equal to 0. So I take this part and write as m vi square by 2 minus gm me divided by h plus re greater than or equal to 0. If you transfer this value over here, it becomes positive. So you get this side is m vi square by 2 greater than or equal to gm me by r h plus re. Therefore, the minimum speed required for an object to reach infinity, that is escape from the earth, corresponds to half m vi square minimum. Okay, now we take the minimum velocity, how much is required, or minimum speed equal to g m me by h plus re. Okay, now from the surface of the earth, so you take height h equal to 0, this equal to 0 from the surface of the earth. So here m by 2 vi square minimum equal to, sorry, there is a mistake, there should not be 2 here. Okay, this 2 should not be there because that 2 is here. So here gm me divided by re plus 0, right? So re, so this h is placed 0, so it will become re. Okay, and this 2 don't write here. Okay, it is by mistake, I think I wrote transfer here. Okay, there was a mistake. So this m by 2 vi square minimum equal to gme by re because h equal to 0. Okay, now transfer these 2 over here, m will go in the denominator, it will cut with these 2. So with m, okay, this m you transfer and this will cut with this m, so m cut. So these 2 will go here, so 2, this g as it is, me as it is, and re as it is. Okay, and this is vi square, so we take square root both the sides, so vi minimum equal to under the square root 2 g me by re. Okay, so this is the minimum velocity, for minimum velocity, which you call it as a escape velocity. Okay, but we have got one more relation. Okay, we shall use that. We know that g equal to, this is acceleration due to gravity, g equal to g me by r square. Okay, we have derived this previously. So g is equal to g me by r square, from there one re take and transfer over here. So g re equal to g me by re. Now here g me by re is there, right? So this value you can replace by g re. So this value I am replacing by g re. So I get vi minimum equal to under the square root 2 g re. Okay, I am just replacing this part g me by re as g re. Okay, so g re you place. So we get vi minimum equal to square root of 2 g re. Substituting numerical values of g and re. Now if we substitute the numerical values of g and re, okay, we know the values, and if we substitute, then you get vi minimum as 11.2 km per second. Okay, so that is the escape speed or escape velocity. This is called your escape speed or escape velocity. Its value is 11.2 km per hour. After putting the value of g and re, you get this much value. Now escape speed from the surface of the moon is 2.3 km per second, about 5 times smaller to Earth escape velocity. Now if we replace this re, that is the radius of the Earth, by the radius of the moon, and acceleration due to gravity on the surface of the Earth is different, so we place that value, and if you simplify, then the escape velocity for the surface of the moon you get is 2.3 km per second, which is very small comparatively to the Earth's escape velocity. Here we have said it is 5 times smaller to the Earth's escape velocity, and this is the reason why moon has no atmosphere. Why? Because the air molecules, the gas molecules, they will be not able to remain on the surface of the moon, but because of the, if they get the velocity higher than this, then they will be escaping. So therefore moon has got no atmosphere. Okay, so we have studied today the gravitational potential energy and the escape speed. Okay, we'll keep this much for today. Thank you very much.